Hello, I'm Ozone Ocean. With me is Taunton Baines.
Hello.
Hello, it is good to see you.
Oh,
it
is. So yeah, this is the Drunkduck Quackcast, and this week we're talking about musicals. Okay, now the theme music is out of the way. Our lovely theme music by Marvellous. We're going to talk about musicals. Oh, well, we're not really. What we're going to talk about is the featured comic and the featured music. And then we're going to talk about musicals, because that's the structure we have. Much like a musical, these Quackcasts are highly structured. So, yeah, I mean...
They are structured. Let's leave it at that.
Oh, they're mechanical masterpieces of engineering. Fantastic. They make the Antihikra mechanism, and the CERN. They make CERN look like baby stuff. The way we structure these Quackcasts. So so we're going to be talking about musicals. Our favorite musicals. Why musicals are good. Why people who don't like musicals are dicks. And all this kind of stuff, especially our favorite musicals. Definitely our favorite music, and we all have favorite musicals, don't we? I'm sure we do. First musicals, remember, like musical, and why Glee is shit. No, I've never really watched Glee, so I don't really have an opinion on that TV show that was popular in the early 2000s. But before we get into that, I have to bring up the featured comic, which was Alpa Comics. And Quackcast is going to tell us about Alpa Comics.
Hello, this is Quackcast, and the feature I've selected for this week is Alpa Comics by Oxfordinary, and it is rated E for everyone. A herd of deeply philosophical and imaginative pet alpacas with very different personalities live on a farm. Hannah the alpaca, aka the Roomba Ranger, is easygoing and creative, yet still aware of the realities of the farm, like wool shearing season. The other alpacas have varying degrees of awareness that range from realistic to silly. The Machos alpacas, male, are kept separated from the Hembras alpacas, female, for population control. That is, until the alpacas begin wearing stilts to hop the fence. Watch as this oddball group of camelids clean around the farm while riding robot vacuums, build castles made out of ice, and willingly donate their fleece so humans can survive the cold seasons. Traditional, horizontal comic strip format. The art begins with pencil in grayscale, then transitions to colored pencils, before switching up to a digital paint marker hybrid. Go firefly gazing with alpacas and read Alpa Comics by Oxfordinary, rated E.
And that was our featured comic, Alpa Comics. Quackcast, say thank you very much for reading that. Okay, so next up we have the featured music. Gummels has given us theme to a comic called Gaia Comic. Oh my god, every comic this week has got comic in its name. Comic. Gaia Comic. So I'm going to tell you about Gaia Comic. Delightful, mysterious, evocative, and gentle. This is an interesting mix of styles, with a woody percussion, pizzicato on violin, and a mournful chorus of cellos. So take it away, Gummels, with your theme to Gaia Comic. Gummerless with his version of Gaia comic. Okay, so that is a comic by Newville, and it's rated T for teen. Okay, that's very cool. All right, next up, we're talking about musical. So, oh goodness me. Okay, what is a musical? There are two sorts of musicals. There's a normal musicals where characters will sing various songs. Well, there's a whole bunch of different types of musicals, all right? But the standard type of musicals are where characters sort of sing different songs, and these songs are basically like the characters interacting normally, like them, dealing with things normally, except they just happen to be singing. And this is just a way of expressing what's happening, but it's done through song. And the singing is kind of like, can be symbolically heightening or emphasizing what's happening. So if the character is in love, then they're doing a little dance, and they're twirling around each other and all this kind of thing, and magical things are sort of happening around them, because it's sort of it's increasing the effect of love that they're trying to express. That's just an example. So this is what musicals normally are. They're kind of like symbolic ways of communicating, but there are different kinds. There's diegetic musicals where it just characters know that they're singing and they're not doing something normal. This isn't like a symbolic way of interacting with each other. Everyone just is deliberately singing, and people know that they're singing in that, like, it's like a flash mob or something like that, or like people just doing a rock performance, and people know that they're doing it, and they're not trying to communicate. They're actually deliberately singing. I don't know if that explanation makes sense, but it's the best I can come up with. So there's that. There's musicals where it's basically like a playlist. Like characters will just start singing, and these songs have nothing to do with the story. They're just songs because it's like Mamma Mia, something like. I mean, I think Mamma Mia has. What I was thinking. The songs are sort of about what's happening, but they're really just pre-written songs that were not written for the thing. They're just popular songs that the characters are singing. Or Frozen, where there's only about 2 or 3 songs that characters are actually communicating with, and the songs are just songs because it's just like a playlist musical, and they're just singing because they're just putting songs in there. So the proper kind of musicals are the ones where characters are communicating via song, and those are the standard form of musicals, and most musicals follow that structure. And even things like Bollywood movies, where they have the standard dance numbers, again, that's exactly the same as a normal musical anywhere else. There's nothing unusual about that. Sorry, you can talk.
No, I was just I was just going to say that I remember an interview done by the creators. I'm trying to remember. I think the creators of Aladdin, or one of those like peak moment Disney musicals, where they were talking about the nature of the musical and what it should be, like what the optimum musical format is, and they were saying that the song should be a manifestation of the character's strongest emotions and strongest thoughts. So when someone is expressing their intents or their ambitions or their intense love or intense hate or intense whatever, I mean, it has to be something strong enough to quote unquote warrant breaking into song, like an action potential. It's supposed to go beyond a certain threshold of emotions and thoughts, become strong enough for the characters to break into song, and that is where the songs are the most organic within the musical. And I agree with that. Like the musicals that are the most successful do that, in my opinion.
That's a good point.
Agree.
Good way of expressing that. Only problem is, Tance, you should have done it in song.
Yeah, no, that's not happening.
Even
Like I take pity on humanity, and I will not do that.
So, Baines, what are you going to say?
I want Tance to sing a song about her hesitation to sing.
Yeah.
So many levels.
Wow.
I would say even what did you call it? A diegetic musical?
There you go. That's the way to pronounce
Say,
it.
is that what the term was?
Probably.
Like a movie, say, about a band where the music is literally happening. It's probably, like, it's the same thing. The songs are well placed at important emotional moments. Maybe there it doesn't necessarily have to be the deepest desires of a specific character, but I think it would work well if it were.
Yeah, there are those kind of things. I mean, Scott Pilgrim versus the World is a bit of that, pretty much. It's a diegetic musical. I mean, there's not that much in it, but there are musical numbers, the characters singing. Yeah, there definitely, I would say it is, definitely. There's only one instance where it is a musical, in that basically the first fight with the first evil boyfriend. The character starts doing.
I don't remember that movie well enough. I barely remember it. Yeah.
Oh, it's one of my favorites, so I remember it because I watch it all the time.
Right. I used to watch, back in the day, there was a movie I watched all the time, and my friends and I would talk about it all the time because a lot of us were musicians and stuff. Was The Commitments, about the Irish R&B band.
Is his name Andrew Strong or something? The lead singer in that.
Oh, okay. I don't know any of their names. I just know Chief O'Brien was in it and it was really funny. It was one of their
Colm Meaney.
Colm Meaney, yeah. Colm Meaney. Colm Meaney.
And Sean something or other played their agent. Sean something, yeah. Anyway, I love all the actors in that. Fantastic musical, yeah, which is more of a diegetic musical. Yeah, because the
oh, definitely. Like the music is literally happening. They're literally putting a band together, and they have an early performance that shows where they're at and how far they still have to go. But the music is well placed as well in terms of important, maybe not deep emotional moments, but important moments in the story, like pivotal moments, where the performances are placed.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic example. A very popular film too, so a lot of people liked it.
I think I haven't heard anyone talk about it in years. You and I have mentioned it here and there on the Quackcast over the years, but
have we?
I don't hear anyone talk about it anymore. It's a long time ago, early 90s, I think.
Well, a lot of those people are dead now. So...
Yeah. Right. I mean, audience. yeah, man. The guy who played guitar in that movie, this is a tangent, but went on to be in that movie once. You guys see that movie?
No.
Also about musicians. Very good. I think it was an Oscar-winning movie. Won an Oscar for something, maybe 10 years ago or so.
Mm.
But it was like the guitar player from The Commitments, who was a skinny little redhead guy, looked much more mature in Once, but he did a great job. Like, oh, cool, he was in The Commitments. Anyway, blah, blah.
Oh, that's incredible.
Irrelevant.
Okay, well that's... And of course the lead singer, he went on to Andrew Strong, I think that's his name. He had a couple hit songs.
Nice. He was a great singer.
They're still played today on the radio. Mustang Sally and something else.
Oh, from the movie, yeah, from the Commitments movie.
Exactly, cool. And I think he did some other ones, yeah, but those ones were big hits. And yeah, Sean Hughes, that was the actor who played their agent, their scheming agent. So he went on to have his own comedy show and all sorts of stuff too. So he got a lot of popularity. So,
Oh, that's good. He was great. He was kind of the main character of the movie.
yeah, I
The guy
loved
who-
him.
The guy who started the band. He was really funny.
But yeah, sadly he did not survive. He
Yeah.
drank himself to death, unfortunately. But let's back on to happier notes. Musicals. Musicals are not always happy though. As Tant said, they can be very serious. And Tant said, I think in our video about like operas. See, operas were the original musicals, I suppose. Well, no, actually, operas weren't the original musicals, but they were an older form of musicals. And they're probably where musicals came from, because before opera had all sorts of other things.
I would say ancestors. Like the opera, the ancestor of the musical. And you have the operettas in between, I would say.
Oh yes, Gilbert and Sullivan. I love them. Love a bit of Pirates and Penzance and all that kind of stuff. I am the very model of a major. Oh, maybe that's not even Pirates and Penzance, but I don't care. I love them all. It is Pirates and Penzance, isn't it? I'm the very model of a major general. I'm animal, vegetable, and something at the.
I honestly don't know, so I'm just nodding and agreeing with you.
Oh well, okay, all right. So we're going to talk about our favorite musicals, though, aren't we? We're gonna bring them up. I'm sure we all have one or two.
Oh,
We don't have just one. I think that's unfair.
Yes, many. I know Tant's one of your favorites. I can tell you. I know two of your favorites: "Sing in the Rain" and "Les Miserables."
Yeah,
So I know two of them.
of course.
and the other one is probably Cats.
Yes.
No.
Obviously.
Cats is one of my least favorite.
It's Mamma
musicals.
Mia. That's what it is.
Yeah.
How could you guess? Who can't love that masterpiece? Anyway, no, it's ironic. I hate it. So thank you. Like I will listen to Cats anytime instead of Mamma Mia, like every time. And I don't like Cats very much. So
I like Cats because my grandmother really liked it, and I got it from her. So I picked that up. And it's about cats and T.S. Eliot and all that kind of stuff. So, and I've never watched the film. I just love the music.
I think, I mean, I haven't watched it on stage, like as a play either, but I have listened to the entirety of it, like in proper order and stuff.
I haven't. I've only listened to a few of the songs.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's why you like it.
Probably. It gives you a different perspective on it. I haven't listened to many musicals like in isolation, listening to the soundtrack. Song by song, except for Chess. I've listened to that one a lot because I loved that song when I was a little kid. The theme song, well, not the theme, but the main hit from Chess, Bangkok. One Night in Bangkok. Loved it. And then, eventually I had to seek out the album and listen to that. And I really liked the story. It led me a new perspective on what the musical was about and what that song was about. And after that, I just listened to it over and over and over, and I really, really enjoy it. So you've listened to that one, Baines, haven't you? At least the main hit from it.
Oh yeah, I had no idea it was from a musical until you.
Yeah, me neither.
Like, a week or two ago.
Really?
That's a great song, and it was a huge song.
Yeah, Chess the Musical, sung by Murray Head, who was who also played Judas in Jesus Christ Superstar, which was another big Tim Rice musical. Tim Rice wrote it. Andrew Lloyd Webber did the music to it. But and Tim Rice also did the lyrics to Chess, but it was Benny and Bjorn from ABBA who did all the music. who also did the music to Mamma Mia. But
You
Yeah.
guys
have
keep
to see.
mentioning that, aren't you?
You guys reference Mamma Mia so much. I have to see this now, so I'll understand.
Oh my
do.
God! I mean, please don't.
And the
Like,
sequel,
it feels
babes.
like an embarrassment.
The sequel as well.
The sequel is worse, and that's an achievement in and of itself. Anyway,
My mum
another
really,
musical.
I was just going to say, my mum really liked Mamma Mia, but she didn't like the sequel, so you're in good company.
The songs themselves are awesome, ABBA songs for sure. I just feel that the entire the way they are strung together and the plot and no,
Yeah,
thank you. No.
I agree.
But oh, good. I'm glad. One musical I also like, I really like, is Prince of Egypt. And again, it comes with great animation, highly recommended. Some of the best, like, best balanced musicals, in my opinion. The way that it is structured, the way where the songs are placed, and how they are basically, like, most of them are key turning points in the entire story. Beautiful work. I love it, and I also really like the general sound of the ambience of the entire work as a complete work.
So that is another one of your favorites, Prince of Egypt, which is an animated movie. Not that long ago. Interesting. Yeah, well, a lot of animated movies are musicals that were done by these big companies, DreamWorks or what was the Disney, of course. Disney. Which is weird. They like their musicals.
I think it was Disney set the pace for that with Snow White, and everyone followed in that format afterwards.
Interesting. Yeah, because that was a time when musicals were popular. So not animated things; it was just musicals in general, and so that sort of continued as a weird kind of legacy. Even though musicals aren't always so popular, they still continue doing musicals in their animated things. I don't think they still do it, do they? It's not so much in the Pixar things. Maybe it is.
Yeah.
Maybe it is.
I haven't seen new animated. Like, the last one I saw was Coco, and that was a musical.
Yeah, you're right. 100%. Oh yeah, in Encanto, that was also.
I haven't seen it yet.
Massive musical. All the way through. They probably all are. But because Pixar does it. They focus on too much about the coming of age stuff and people's relationships with their family and all this kind of stuff. Too much on that, but they do stories really well, and you often can't even remember it's a musical because it's not even that big a factor. The story is so well told.
And now that I think about it, Coco is almost, or completely, I don't know, I have to think about it, but almost a diegetic musical, because the songs actually do happen within the story. The characters know that they are singing, and others listen to them sing. So
they're doing performances. It's really good. Encanto's not, but that's fantastic, and there's a lot of different songs in that. Really good. So many. I don't know if there's any singing numbers in Up or Elemental or Zootopia.
In Zootopia, I don't think there was.
I don't think there is an Up either.
Cars.
I haven't watched Cars.
Cars is good, but we're not talking about things that aren't musicals, so I won't talk about that one
Yeah.
anymore. All right, so yeah.
So,
No, go on.
No, you do. You go.
Well, then I'll have to do about a favorite musical, and I did Guys and Dolls. I'd always heard people doing performances of that, or it was like, oh, this is going to be on at this theater, whatever. And I thought, oh my god, why do you keep talking about this? But then I actually saw the movie. I think that's the one with Frank Sinatra and some other actor. Frank Sinatra and Jesus Christ, famous guy.
Frank Sinatra and Jesus Christ. Okay, yeah, go. I'm sorry.
I can't remember the big fat American guy who was in Godfather.
Marlon Brando.
That's the one. Really awesome together, and their singing was fantastic. It was so cool to see them singing together and performing. So yeah, that has to be one of my favorites, if that's the one I'm remembering. I don't know, my memory's shit. Paint Your Wagon. Oh my god, there you get to see Clint Eastwood and all kinds of very unusual people singing. And I just love it. It's so cool, especially after him doing all these spaghetti westerns and stuff like that. Seeing him doing a musical is gorgeous. So yeah, okay, Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. This is about it's a really dodgy story about these brothers who kidnap these women to be their wives, and then the women fall in love with them and all this stuff. It's such a dodgy story, but it's beautiful. It's so classic and so beautiful that I just love it. It's very sort of Shakespearean, the story. It can be quite serious and quite dodgy, which is a real contrast to the thing people normally think about musicals, that they're light-hearted and they're silly. So, fantastic dance numbers and things, just beautiful. Oh my god, I have so many musicals that I would.
Yeah, I also want to add Phantom of the Opera. Like Phantom of the Opera and Les Miserables are the only two musicals I have actually seen live on stage in London.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's an experience. If you ever can see one of these productions that are like classic productions, Broadway or London theater, or do it. It's a core memory, like that level of impressive and amazing.
I've never seen a musical live, Tance.
Oh my god, you love it. You are in for a treat whenever you do. And
okay, so when I go and watch Cats, I'll thank you for that.
Absolutely.
I would even watch Cats live. I'm sure that I would like at least some of it on stage. Like at least Memories is awesome.
I only seen one, and it was Phantom of the Opera in Toronto. And it was amazing. It was very memorable. And that show ran for it. Maybe it's still running. I don't know, but it ran.
I think if it's not still running, it ran until very recently, like until before COVID or whatever, something like that.
Well, and it was decades ago that I saw it. So yeah. It's been around forever.
It'll probably run again.
Same.
It's one of those things. They always revive it. It's popular. It's the audience in. It's the money. So yeah, fantastic musicals. I'm really just a fan of the old musicals from the 50s, the 60s, when musicals were really popular in movies. So yeah, that's my big thing, and I can watch them over and over. I've watched Seven Brides for Seven Brothers so many times. I absolutely love it. So
go on.
No, go on.
No, please.
I was just going to prompt Baines, that's all.
Okay, do it.
Yeah, most of the musicals you guys have named I haven't seen, and although I've heard of almost all of them, of course, they're really well known. my favorite. This one had an interesting road as far as a piece of fiction. Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah, all right. That's a very different one. Ooh,
Very
okay.
different. The songs are fantastic, and they're very well placed in the way that Tance talked about earlier to reveal emotions. And to put a musical in this horror story just creates this perfect mixed tone, these contrasting tones to me for a horror comedy, and a very very grim circumstances where things take place, but kind of contrasted with how upbeat the music is.
Fantastic musical.
yeah.
Much
I
better
am
than
a
the
dentist.
original. Love it.
I am a dentist. Then the song "I Am a Dentist"
Yes.
from Big Shop of Horrors has stuck with me. Like
Yeah.
it was amazing.
A song about a
remember that
guy
one.
who was a psychopath as a child.
yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
I
what do you
remember-
do with this psychopathic nature? You become a dentist.
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
Sadistic.
Feed Me Seymour and
That too.
Suddenly Seymour? Is that another song?
Suddenly Seymour. And then the title song, Little Shop of Horrors. The songs
Yeah.
are great. They're really great.
Oh, they're just amazing. The
Absolutely.
Bad Mother Something from Outer Space. Oh, they're all so cool.
I'm a big mean mother from outer space, something like that.
Yeah, which interestingly, that song is the only one. Okay, so this story was a movie first. It was a Roger Corman produced movie. Did he direct it even? I don't know. But anyway, it's a Roger Corman produced movie. Jack Nicholson appears in it. It's Jack Nicholson's first movie, and it was shot in 3 days. It's actually a pretty good movie. I've seen the original, and it is not a musical in its original form. The movie from 1960 or something like that. Then it became a stage play, and that's when it became a musical. And that's where most of the songs came into being, with the stage play. So the movie in the 80s, directed by Frank Oz, with Rick Moranis, that's kind of what we think of, I think, when we think of Marvellous, is that Frank Oz movie, with the incredible puppets and wonderful songs and everything. Mean Green Mother was the original song written just for the movie. So, for anyone who cares about that movie, like I do.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
and there are, of course, I think some people know now, 2 versions of the movie. There's the original cut that audiences didn't like, and then the theatrical cut with the happier ending. And the original
grim, though.
cut
I mean,
was just released about 10 years ago on DVD, I think. What's that, Tess?
It's still, I mean, it looks happier, but I think it's still just as grim. You just need to do a bit of after the fact thinking of the ending, of the happy ending, and it's not that happy anymore. So
it's not clear if that happy ending is literal. Speaking of the nature of musicals, literal or not. And then, of course, there's a little, even in the happy ending, there's that little horror movie.
Yeah.
Little baby Seymour.
You know what? Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah.
Little Shop of Horrors does perfectly what, in my opinion, and this, I mean, I will get probably flack from some people for this, what Sweeney Todd attempted and failed to do, in my opinion.
I was going to mention Sweeney Todd because, man, there are elements of it that I really loved, but it didn't quite come together. The songs weren't quite there, maybe. I don't know what it was, but...
I think that for a lot of people it didn't really work.
Yeah. Although it is a story that lends itself. I could see why it is a musical, and I was all for it, like when I went in to see it first time. But somehow the songs are not good enough for some reason, or the way that they are woven into the story is not good. There is something that just doesn't totally land with Sweeney Todd.
Well, fair enough.
Same. It was years ago that I saw it. I saw it in its theatrical run, so I only vaguely remember, but I was very excited to see it. I think it's a cool story.
Yeah.
Yeah, something about it just didn't
Cause a
work.
serious, sort of semi-serious story. Okay, so I just want to make a point about a thing you mentioned, Baines, was that Little Shop of Horrors was originally a movie, then it became a stage thing, and then it became like a musical movie. It's funny, producers did the same thing. That was a comedy film, became a stage thing, a stage musical, then became a musical.
Right.
This is a weird pattern. But so you're talking about a serious kind of a thing, Sweeney Todd. Well, Oliver, it's a very, oh my god, that's such a serious story, sad serious story.
It works though. I mean, I like
the
Oliver.
musical. I love the musical.
Mm-hmm.
Love it, and I think that's happy, and it's just joyful. But the original Dickens, you know, like,
oh yeah,
that's
and
very,
if you have
very
read,
depressing.
and if you have read the book, not just seen, non-musical renditions on TV, the book is even worse.
I know.
So
Oh,
yeah,
It's worse
but
in the sense of what?
it's worse in the sense that it is grimmer and it is
Okay.
heavier and it is more visceral, and you hate humanity by the time you are like halfway through the book. Reasonably so, right? Dickens is one of my favorite authors, and I have read pretty much, I think, everything that he has written, except Bleak House, that I couldn't get through for some reason. I haven't tried it again, but anyway. But everything else I just devoured. So
Right.
Well, yeah. Oliver is, I think, that is. So this is a weird strength for musicals. So it's because of the musical version being so good for Oliver, it was able to get that story out to a much wider audience than it would have been. I mean, Oliver is, Dickens was incredibly famous. His story's been read by a lot of people and stuff like that. But still, the movie version of Oliver sort of catapulted that into an even wider audience. So, yeah,
absolutely.
It can be very, very good in that way.
That's exactly, I think, exactly. I still think that Les Miserables is as well known and as popular because it is such a good musical. It is a musical that manages, like if it is performed well enough and stuff, that manages to break your heart, even though it has songs, very good songs, or because it has these awesome songs in it. So, like, there are a few moments I can think of where you genuinely, first of all, you forget that they are singing. It's like you are completely immersed in the character's emotional state and thoughts and stuff, and it can be painful, and that's why I think that it is a masterpiece. It brings you within this character, and
except Master of the House, that's just fun.
Oh, I love Master of the House,
Just
and
fun.
it is so much fun, and it is fun, and it still makes you hate the singers, like the characters. I mean,
The
that's
character, yeah. Which Baines and I mainly know from Seinfeld.
Oh,
Yes, I've never even seen. I saw a high school production of Les Mis. I don't know.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Is that right? Yeah, I think so. And but I've never even seen the movie. The movie was really big at the time, if I'm remembering right.
yeah. I wouldn't recommend.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend. Although I really like the movie. Still, I wouldn't recommend to have that as your first experience of the musical. I would recommend picking up some kind of recording of the actual Broadway, so that is a lot better.
Okay, yeah.
The talent is better. The way they vocalize is better. Like everything is better by comparison. And then you take that and you see the movie, and your brain does the rest, and so you can enjoy the movie.
Well, Jason Alexander probably did the best version of Master of the House, didn't he, Baines?
Is there a Broadway, like, is there a live version or a recorded Broadway version?
Yeah,
of Sweeney Todd?
Of Sweeney Todd, I think so.
I'm curious because I think there are songs in the stage play that were not in the movie. I have that impression. Let me and check. I wonder if, like, the because if I remember right, in the movie the music was very dour and dark.
Wasn't that a really old musical? I mean, not that old, but I thought it's been around for a lot longer than the
it has, yeah. But I'm just thinking of the modern movie with Johnny Depp from whatever it was, 12 years ago or whatever. Or more.
Yeah.
Okay, I think there are, like, I did a quick Google. Yeah, okay. There is a 2023 Broadway official recording. So
okay,
you have it. Of Sweeney Todd.
I have to get Google sometimes so I could look this stuff up myself.
You know, one of my favorite musicals is...
I'm always writing to towns to ask her to look up stuff for me.
Oh, I just write to a government information agency and wait 6 weeks for them to get back to me. That's the way to do it. Since you mentioned Little Shop of Horrors, Rocky Horror Show. That's another kind of thing like that.
Right.
Yeah, that was amazing. Like, there is this stereotype that musicals are very rigid in what they can depict, but in reality they are so flexible and can produce such different narrative works and artistic impressions that I would say they are just as flexible as any kind of visual medium.
Oh, I love Rocky Horror Show. What's one of my favorites? Well, of course, Time Warp is. It's a big hit from that one, but all of them, so many songs in that. I can't even remember them at the moment. Oh dear. But yes. Baines, do you remember any of the songs from Rocky Horror Show? I'll have to look them up.
Sorry, I just had to step away for a second. The movie I've tried to watch and I can't get into, but I love the soundtrack. I've listened to it multiple times. And I remember the songs. And I love the songs. Science fiction double feature. Let's do the Time Warp. And what is it? Damn It, Janet? Is that the title? I've heard all the songs. Yeah, and I like the soundtrack a lot. Amazing.
Sweet Transvestite.
Right. Transsexual from Transylvania. Yeah.
Can I get an honorary mention?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I highly recommend Kinky Boots as well, if you have seen that.
I've heard of that.
What is Kinky Boots?
So Kinky Boots is this musical about a shoemaker that has like a small shoemaking factory that is about to go out of business, and the niche market that he ends up finding is making extremely sturdy shoes, high-heeled shoes for cross-dressers,
trans people.
No, for drag queens.
Oh, okay, yeah,
So,
that fits. We're allowed to say that.
yeah, I just couldn't remember the term. So my brain went through a Rolodex of of different terms. Anyway,
I know the feeling.
So anyway, yeah. So, and of course, he's an English dude, like very stereotypical English dude in a very rural English town, and he gets a lot of flack for doing for associating with drag queens and all of that. And it's a very heartfelt, wholesome musical, awesome songs. Not all of them are original for the movie. There are like songs like "I Put a Spell on You" and stuff. Kinky Boots does perfectly what Mamma Mia attempted. So they also have some original songs as well in there. So
Isn't that interesting?
it's beautiful, and I highly recommend. You are going to laugh because it is also a comedy, but it is sort of like a kind of a black comedy in the sense that you feel for these people, you hurt for these people, but you also laugh in the way that, like the way it is. You don't laugh at them, but you laugh with them at their really unfortunate situations, because it is a commentary both on social exclusion from in society, as well as um, the economical, like financial situation and stuff.
The shoemaker finds himself in. Yeah. Very clever. All right. Another musical.
Full Monty.
Is that a musical?
Yes, and it is awesome. I saw it in England when it came out. I was a student at the time in England, in Britain, when it came out, and I thoroughly enjoyed it on all levels. Yeah, there's nothing else to say.
All right, Grease.
Yeah, Grease.
I've seen that one many times.
Yeah, beautiful.
Love it, absolutely love it. Even though this is super mainstream, everyone's seen it. Sound of Music, another one, everyone's seen that one.
It's mainstream for a reason.
Xanadu. A lot of people hate this one. I don't know why. Maybe because it came out in the 80s and people are a bit over musicals then, but I freaking love it. I don't care what people say. Danny Kaye is in it, star of Singing in the Rain. So yeah, that was a great.
I haven't seen it. I haven't even heard of it, honestly. So I'll check it out now.
Well, don't hate me if you don't like it. But yeah, I absolutely love it. It's such a cool 80s thing, and such a good coda to who did I say was in it? The Singing Rain guy.
Oh, another one I recommend is Hairspray.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Another one that is in that format of comedy and also dealing with serious issues. This one, if I remember right, the title, I think the title is Hairspray, is about segregation and racism and stuff like that. So highly recommended. Very, very well rendered.
Gene Kelly, that was the guy, not Danny Kaye. So Hairspray. All right. What's
so I'd be remiss to not mention
Baines, yes.
To not mention South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. Don't know if it's your cup of tea, either of you. Yes, but they made a movie in.
I haven't seen it, but yes, go for it.
It's wonderful.
So this is Trey Parker and Matt Stone, who mastered like comedy with their South Park, serious, like weird comedy, making a point or whatever. But they also freaking love musicals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they are. I think Trey Parker is a musician and a composer. I'm pretty sure he was involved in the songs. I could be wrong about that, but I think he wrote the songs, and they're fantastic. The music is really good. The
They
movie
Cannibal the
holds
musical?
up very well. It's incredibly. It's about
Oh,
censorship. That's the theme.
I've got to see it.
And,
Yeah, longer.
Yeah, no, I will have to see it too, and I don't like South Park very much, but I'll see that.
yeah, I mean, the movie does not shy away from the crassness at all. It's pretty in your face with the language and stuff like that.
That's all right.
But I think the movie is better than a lot of the show. I appreciate South Park the series, but to me, I really love the movie.
Mm.
You might as
Famously,
well.
they also did Cannibal the musical, which is very popular. They had
Right.
so much popularity when they came out about the Donner Party, and they also did America, Team America, which was a musical with
Yeah,
marionettes.
which I think that is quite popular now. People like it. I think the South Park movie is way better, personally.
Can I also mention, because now by association I remembered it, and it would be extremely remiss to not mention it, West Side Story,
Oh yeah,
which is
okay.
basically Romeo and Juliet in immigrant America. So
The original or the new Disney version?
the original.
Good. I love that
I
one.
haven't seen the. I didn't know there was a Disney version. Okay, I'm afraid now, but yeah.
Well, they updated the gangs because, of course, you can't have a Polish gang anymore.
Why not? Oh,
'Cause
well,
that
you
doesn't
can't.
exist
What are
anymore.
the gangs?
I don't know. It's still a Latino gang, but maybe a black gang or something like that.
How
It's
do
changed.
they explain Officer Krapke then?
They just give him a different nationality. I haven't seen it, so I don't know. I just know there's that difference.
Anyway, and a fun bit of trivia: like the very famous in the original West Side Story movie, the lead dancer in the America song, like "Okay by Me" in
I
America.
love that song.
Yeah, so the lead dancer
Favorites.
of the guys, because you have girls dancing and guys dancing in a dance off, so to speak. So the lead guy is Greek, and
Wow.
yeah,
Playing a Latino.
he's playing a Latino, and of course he does.
Okay, by me in America. Da, 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 da,
Yeah, and
America.
his accent is very Greek, but only we can understand.
America.
Yeah.
Oh, it's such a good song.
Yeah.
Oh,
Beautiful.
so good.
The songs in West Side Story are like they have no business being that good, and they are that good.
Well, it's funny. I mean, we really should even digress into the idea of the hit songs that became hit songs outside of their musicals. Like maybe no one ever saw the music. Not maybe no one ever saw, but maybe more people have heard the hit than they've seen the musical. Like Chess with you guys. And there's a lot like that. Say, Fiddler on the Roof.
Oh,
that song
my
has
God,
just gone on and on and on. And
If
not
I Were
many
a Rich
people have-
One.
Yeah, I mean, such a good song, and it expresses
Yeah,
the
oh my
whole
God.
meaning of the
It's a-
music. You don't even have to watch it.
Yeah, and it's an earworm as well. Like
Mm.
now it's in my
If
head.
I were a rich
I were a
man,
man.
all day long I'd be
Ah,
bom. If I were a wealthy man, hey!
Like, I would see my wife, my Golde, looking like a rich
Yes.
man's wife with a proper doubles.
My
I love it.
God! And
My
Topol
God.
is so good in that
Yeah.
role, and he's actually, an Israeli born in Israel, so he is like a fully Jewish man. Although he's not born in Ukraine like his character, but kind of
It doesn't.
Yes, but it's a classic. It's one of the things. But how many people have seen that? A lot less than know the song, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the movie is very tragic and sad and very serious in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
As you
yeah,
can
and
imagine. Well, I mean,
and
it's
still
a fun
works very well.
song
Mhm.
about this guy, you know, with his aspirations to be a big deal in his community, in his little community. But the movie is about how that community is being destroyed by the purges, pogroms in Russia, or the, you know,
Yeah,
where he lives.
yeah,
These
it is
people are being killed.
pre-Soviet. That's like pogroms by the Tsar. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's a very tragic story, but
mhm.
such a beautiful song, and you really feel for
and
him
and
and
it's
get into this world that he sings about.
and it's also tragic on two levels because first he is being persecuted for being a Jew, but also his family is like eventually, like, this is not a spoiler. It's been out for ages. um, um, his family also breaks apart
Yeah.
due to religion. So that is also a thing. These are masterpieces exactly because they, with one stroke, they get all the points across, and it's beautiful. So
It really is. Oh my god! And then of course he went off. Topol went on to be in Flash Gordon. Another high point. It's great. Okay. Oh, what's that, Baines? I think we'll extend it a bit to talk about our favorite songs, because our next project that we do is, I don't think that's now, is it, or is it an hour from now? Tell me.
what?
Our next project that we do after the Quackcast is an hour from now.
No,
Maybe
it's
a half
now,
hour if we're lucky.
It's
or a
now?
half hour at best. Mm.
Okay. All right. We'll have to talk about our favorite songs some other time. All right, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to the
Thank you.
Quackcast. It's been Quackcast number 658. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Tans.
Go listen to some songs and musicals.
Yes.